Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and start assembling our lock. We're going to use a combination of bitting information. The bitting information is going to be for the bottom pins that are going to go in first, and the top bitting, or the top pins, are going to have a bitting for themselves as well, just a series of numbers that will tell me which pins go where. What you'll do is take your two keys, you'll go ahead and get that bitting information, and the bottom pinning is going to be for those bottom pins, and the top pinning is going to be for the top pins. I've already got my two keys that are going to be working this particular lock, and I already have that bitting information already put in. And what we'll be able to do is go ahead and just put those pins in as the bitting information tells us to, and it'll be able to make both of our keys work for this particular lock. The bitting information I have for the bottom pins for my two keys is going to be 33211. So what you'll do is you'll get a 3 bottom pin, a 3 bottom pin again, a 2 bottom pin, and then 2 1 bottom pins for the last two chambers. Okay, so that was my bitting information there. As you can see, the pins are in there now. They're kind of colorful, so you can see those there. Then the master pinning is 11421, and for those I have to reach back here for the master pins in my set. One, 4, I was running low on 2 pins, so I actually have one sitting out right here, just so I can make sure I get my key information correct. 2, and then the last one is a 1, which I actually have a leftover right here, so I'll put that in. Okay. Now we want to put our lock back together, and the way to do this is to just make sure that you have your follower and your lock housing arranged correctly. Again, when you put this in, you want to make sure that if this is at 12 o'clock here, you want to make sure to just have a quarter turn, just like that, so that the follower can hold the top pins in here in the top of the lock, and then also make sure that it's not so to the side that your pins actually fall out of the plug while you're putting it in. So we'll go ahead and turn this here, put this in that way, and just kind of push it all the way through. You can catch your follower on the other end so it doesn't fall out. Now, whenever I'm finished, I normally take the key and I turn it slightly back. Just put it in barely, and then you're able to turn the key. You hear that click, and that means that now the chambers have locked in. You can't turn it unless you have the actual working key. Now you want to put your lock back together. Make sure to have your spindle here next as well. Put it back in the way that it was, and then reattach your clip at the back. Okay, now you're set. If you're doing any kind of large system or anything else, I normally take a Dremel, and if there's a kind of a lock code or anything else you have with the lock, I go ahead and I engrave that on the side of this lock right here, so that way when it's actually on the door and you have it inside and installed, you actually won't be able to see that code anyways for the lock, because it's going to be hidden by this sleeve here. But that way when you uninstall the lock later on, you'll be able to know what key actually works that lock, and it's kind of handy to have all that info just ready there in your hands when you're all finished. But now your lock's ready to be reinstalled. If you have your keys available, you want to go ahead and double check those and make sure that they all work. I know I just repinned this one as well, so I know it's working, but you want to always test your keys when you're finished pinning the lock as well.